we're up here on the motor of this thing. So we're kind of stuck with a half-decent dilemma on this. This motor has never been ran in a demolition derby before. I imagine the compression is really good. I imagine that everything is probably pretty damn good on this engine. But here's the problem. It died on my buddy on the road, and then refired and drove for another week, and then died again, and then drove for another 2 weeks, and then died again and drove for like another month, and then it died and never went back on the road. I think the sending unit in the tank went bad because the fuel level sensor was knocked right off, and there was zero fuel inside the tank. So I'm kind of thinking that it was a fuel starvation issue. So what we changed was spark arrestor, distributor wires, plugs, timing belt, intakes, sensors, pretty much everything to do underneath there. So that has all been changed. But I have my motor I took last year, which kind of didn't run great when I first got there. It was running like a bag of shit. But I think it was just wet because it rained extremely heavy on the way down. But here's the dilemma I have. Should I take this one or should I take the motor that I know runs? I don't know. This one here is a distributor motor. I've ran a couple distributor motors, but I've never had a lot of luck with distributor motors. But some of you guys have had amazing luck with distributor motors. It's hit and miss. I don't know exactly what I want to do right yet about this. So far what you know what? I think I should try to get this thing to run. I think that would be a nice step, is trying to get it to run, to be honest. So what do I need to do to get it to run? I need to get a standalone harness in it. I need to get a battery in it. I'm just going to pull the harness through the firewall and then jump it over. I need to get fuel to it. And honestly, that's about it. Maybe we should try to get this thing to run. See, maybe that will make me feel better. If this thing it fires up, then maybe I'll just leave it in there. If it gives me any hesitation, then maybe I'll take it out. I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's get this thing set up so that it can run. So what I need is a battery. I need a standalone harness. I need a fuel tank, which I believe I got some. I just don't know if I have too much fuel here. I gotta have some fuel here. Let's get going. So we have the computer hooked up. I built a harness for this because I didn't have any harnesses for it. We have quick start up here. We have a jump start, so let's give it some quick start. Do it some turnover. I know we have spark, but I guess we're not, I think the timing's a little off, so I'm going to check timing. I'm going to pull the alternator, I'm going to pull the front motor mount, I'm going to check timing, but I'm thinking this motor might have to come out. if my neighbor isn't willing to trust this car to drive to the mall in town, why should I trust it in a demolition derby? So, here we are. We're going to be pulling this thing out. Quite a bit's got to come off of it, so chopping. So I do make this thing as easy as I can. I already went underneath and cut just about as much as I can. Shifter cable. Just want to cut the heater hoses now, but I might let it get a little bit lower for the heater hoses so I can get in there. Map sensor. There, I think pretty much the only thing left is the heater hose. Well, they're starting to get tight there. Where are you? Oh, you're the return fuel line. I don't need you. Ooh, there we go. Heater hoses. Let's see if we can get some coolant out of you. That was a bit of coolant. Okay, down some more. What hose are you? Well, you're just an evap hose, not needed. I broke the power steering. Shit. That's okay. I think that's everything. Oh, I have one ground left. It's not bad. Okay, let's get her out. So like I was saying, my neighbor didn't trust this thing to drive to the local convenience store, so I really don't think I should trust it to take to a show in the USA. So we ended up pulling the engine, and as far as I'm concerned, that engine is scrap. But we're probably going to keep the transmission. But now that we have this engine bay completely clear, I can get rid of a lot of stuff I don't need. Like the heater hose, the fuel canister, the AC lines, a lot of the stuff that's over here, like this. So that's about it on that. So let's go take a look at the engine that I'm planning to put into this. So this engine right here is a 92 to 96. Now this is a non-California emissions car, so it has the coil inside the distributor. Transmission's the exact same as the other transmission, so some things that you can note differently on this one. This one here, the water pump actually feeds the oil pump so that it helps cool the coolant with the engine oil, or it cools the engine oil with the coolant. But it's just another spot where they're prone to leaking. In the bottom, there's no counterbalances as well, but let's go take a look at the newer one.
Negative 20 degrees Celsius outside today. It's a little chilly. Whew, it's a little chilly. So that's a ZF6. That engine right there is pretty tired. This one here is another distributor motor. This one here is my New York last year motor. Transmission looks a little beat up, but not too bad. I'd like to run this engine again. I had zero complaints. It did run a little shitty when I got there, but honestly I think it was just the fact that it was extremely wet. It rained so bad on the way down to Meltdown. So what we're probably going to do is try to figure out a way to get this inside. Because it's so cold, I really don't think the Walden's going to start. But I'd like to get a compression test done on this and do some fun things like that. So I guess let's try to get it inside here.